having a terrible morning. It's not
Boy, what's wrong?
Oh, I'm having a bureaucratic annoyance moment. It's my own fault, but
Is this Tommy victim or is this an actual problem?
oh, well, sure. How can I tell? Well, what happened was I bought a thing. I actually bought assets for Unreal Engine, and whatever way it worked out, even though I had money in my PayPal balance, they took a very small amount. It was about 60 quid I spent, and they took like 4.91 from my bank account. But they took it as a direct debit, and it happened a few days later. So I was going, where is this fucking payment come from? And when you went in, there was this thing of reversal, and I hit it going, oh, it might give me some options or whatever. But it immediately cancelled the payment. And I went, oh, well, that's fun. So I went into PayPal and immediately said to them, look, here's the crack. What's going on? And eventually got back to me. But they want me to pay the full 60 quid again. That's the problem, not the 4.91 that I reversed. So I've been shouting at them for the last hour and a half.
So they've only taken 4 instead. Okay, I get you.
So I paid 50 whatever quid out of my PayPal balance.
So, yeah.
Paid.
Yeah.
And so the 4.91 was coming out of the bank, but because it's coming up as a reversal, they said, no, you owe the entire 58 again. One side of PayPal. The other side of PayPal is going, oh, no, it'd be grand. Just wait a couple of days and it'll all sort out. And I went, no, it won't. It definitely will not all just sort out. I'm telling you, I know from experience. But anyway, worst of it, it's like my own fault. But at the same time, I'm going, will you just let me pay you 4.91 here in any form I can give it to you? I don't know.
Fuckers, and I have a PayPal thing as well, but I was telling you about it. I bought those Jodorowsky cards. Carmon? I don't know. He's the main guy, this French guy.
Right.
And apparently he's like the descendant of some of the original Marseille tarot people.
Of course.
Well, you know. And so him and Jodorowsky did this reinterpretation of them, or new interpretation of them, I suppose you call them. And the same, I bought them, and like after 3 emails, nothing. I'm like, where's my cards? Are the cards coming? Hello? Can you even just recognize my existence here? And I was saying to you, and you were like, did you pay through PayPal? Yeah. So try and get it back. And it's the same. So they have 3 emails from me. They have a thing from PayPal, and not a single reply. Like.
Right. But the only good thing about that is if they don't reply, that as soon as it goes to PayPal make a decision, PayPal will immediately give you the money. That
Yeah. But like, I don't want my money back. I want the cards.
And were they not on Amazon, no? Because I got mine on Amazon, pretty sure.
The only Amazon that they're available on is French Amazon, and they're from the same people, from Camon.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. There's no point in cancelling one payment and trying paying for.
And you think is it just a COVID-related kind of closure? But like, I mean, they could say that.
No, there's nothing on their website. Yeah. Nothing on their website, and their website is available in 4 or 5 languages or something. So. I don't know. You know? Fuck. Wasn't meant to be.
Oh, well, you might get them yet. Who knows?
Yes, it was.
So anyway, I died on Friday.
You died? Are you enjoying the world fall apart first?
Well, you see, isn't it interesting, though, isn't it, that, that I die and then the world falls apart? So
Yeah.
Remember
Go on then. How did you die? What happened?
Well, I jumped realities, man. Remember when we were doing the documentary? And we went out to route, and we both died in a car crash. Remember that day?
Oh yeah, I remember that day.
So it's a similar type of scenario. That what is it called? Quantum death. Isn't that what it is? Where you just switch to a new universe. So anyway, Friday night, everything's fine, no problems. We all go to bed. Then at 5.
Is that why you're blonde now?
Blonde and completely different looking. A different guy called Shane now as well, and I live in Turkey. So went to bed, grand, the whole thing, whatever. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm pretty sure on the dot, there's a loud screaming alarm going off in the house that we've never heard before. And me and Vanessa just kind of look at each other and go, what is going on? But that sounds like a smoke alarm. I'm like, fuck. So got up, got out, opened the door. And when I opened the door, the entire corridor is full of smoke. Yeah. And I just go, fuck! And so I start going down the stairs. And I noticed that the alarm where it is at the bottom of the stairs going off. It's kind of an alarm that Vanessa had, a kind of a spare one for the preschool. So it's not attached to anything, but it was just kind of sitting there. And I kind of got it. And you're half asleep, you're kind of looking at it, you're going, what? pressing it, and eventually goes off. And when I get it off, I turn around and there's no smoke in the house at all.
What?
So the smoke let me, like, well, like the logical kind of thing is, oh, it was just my eyes adjusting, or there was haziness or whatever. But it wasn't kind of, because I know what that's like, because I've had that a lot recently because of my, you know, my eye thing. But it was like, you know, like mist or fog. So it wasn't like, it's like, you know,
I don't know who's Mr. Fog. I don't know Mr. Fog.
You know when someone's smoking a cigarette and there's it's kind of lines of smoke come out, you know, like, or it's not like the thing you see in the films where it's like this cloud of smoke that's just, it's that kind of misty, that's what it was, and it was completely gone. So I was like going, right, so start walking around the house, just kind of trying to look to see, is the house on fire? Is there something weird happening? But there's this overriding kind of sense of something weird is going on. So I go back up and I just said to Vanessa, I have no idea what's going on. You know, everything seems fine, whatever. So I go back into bed and the alarm goes off again. And right, well, there's something. So went out and I did a lap of the house then. I looked at the office, make sure it was okay. And strangely, earlier in the day, I had said to Vanessa that, geez, I must get like, update the Dropbox or Mega or some sort of online cloud thing and update everything, because while I have things backed up in a number of different hard drives, if there was a fire, everything goes. So I go, oh, hold on. So nothing. Anyway, and so I eventually got looking at this fire alarm, and it kind of says that after 10 years, it'll start, you know, you can't replace the battery, you have to... you know, just throw it out, whatever. But you have to do a certain thing where you just stick a screwdriver in and pull it over and all that. But when the battery ends, it will chirp. You know, it does that thing. You know when
like that thing. Fire alarm.
So it doesn't go off. Like it's not that it go off. So, but anyway, I stuck a screwdriver into it, and it was 12 years old. It turned out anyway, so it was on its way out. But when I was to go back into bed, and then the wee man is losing his life. He's talking to people in the room. He's pointing at it. He's totally. Doesn't want us out of his sight. All of this, he's.
Oh really?
Yeah. And so gets eventually into bed or whatever, and I have the protector image on my door, and it just falls.
Oh. What the fuck is going on? What?
I don't. Right. So I definitely died in a fire tonight in some other universe, and that's the blast over from the. That's the quantum debt.
Fuck.
Yeah. Mad, no?
I don't know. No, I have a feeling though someone was standing behind you, and then as soon as you looked around for the fire, then you were clattered with something.
Yeah.
You know.
Mad, doesn't it? It's like so then obviously you're just kind of sitting there going, what? You know, I'm not getting up because it's like whatever it is,
Wouldn't
20
it be,
past
like,
5 in the morning.
So like where, like when you start thinking about that reality jumping or dimension jumping, it's like, well, it's not dimension jumping because it's the same dimension, like, but it's like, so where's the lad that was here? You know,
well,
where did he go?
Yeah, well.
Like, is it just a chain that goes up, or down? You know?
I don't know. Isn't it kind of the space of variations in reality transurfing? It's that all of these things are possible, but because you're focused on one, it's the only thing that's happening, kind of a thing. I don't know if that's directly reality transfer, but that's one way of looking at the multiple things.
Whoa, explain that to me again now.
Right.
I know, I understood the words, but not when they were put together.
Well, you know the double slit experiment, that if you look at a beam of light and want it to be a certain way, was it a particle? It is particle, but if you look at another way,
okay,
that.
Of course. Yeah,
but that's to do with intention and looking at it, so you're focusing something on it and it changes it. So while there is this space of variations, which all things are probable, the thing that you're looking at is the one that's having the kind of the interaction with. So if you kind of jump from one to the other, it's not that that person necessarily dies, it's just that the focus has shifted to this other kind of timeline.
Yeah.
That's one way of looking at it. I'm not really sure if that's the reality transfer from one exactly, but or somewhere else I got that. So it's where is the other person? Well, the other person is where all the other ones are as well. You know, it's just that we're looking at this one.
Nice.
So where all the things behind you? I know you can see behind me, but like say you can't see behind you. So like where is all that stuff now? You know, it's like that kind of thing. But yeah, it's
weird, huh?
It is, yeah. So many lives you get. Do you have 9 quantum lives? Am I down to 7?
It's more than 9, because I'm down a good few by now, man. Yeah. Do you know?
I mean, obviously, just to be rational about it, the fire alarm went off because the battery was fucking fucked in it. The thing with my eyes was the the thing that's been going on with my eyes, the smoke that I seen, that it was just a trick, whatever, and coincidence for the protector thing. I don't know.
Three coincidences though, in the three things like that in a row. I don't know. I think you're definitely dead.
Yeah.
You're dead to me anyway.
Yeah, and PayPal.
Yeah. That's like, it's hard to fucking reckon with that. Like I remember when me and you were driving. But like, yeah, you thought about it a couple of times since. But you just like, it's
What can
life
you
goes
do?
on
Yeah,
so
what
quickly.
can you do about it? Like,
You don't. But when it's something like that, that's a bit different. What you went through, because like I'm driving, so I have to concentrate on actually getting us where we're going. But like for something to like I probably wouldn't have slept that night. No, not from fear ranting, but just from
adrenaline.
The gears.
But I suppose
going
it's the other.
and-
It's kind of another kind of nod to go like as well as like the pandemic and the lockdown or whatever. How quick things can change. How quickly an individual your life can change. And then of course, America went on fire very shortly after it as well. Like so, and how different the world can be. 24 little hours, blah, 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 all that kind of thing. But just to kind of acknowledge that and that, like, I suppose, like, obviously didn't learn my lesson because now I'm, uptight and stressed over, $4.91 payment to PayPal where, the lesson would be to, let it all just go, man.
Drop importance.
And all
Like
that.
me and the tower cards, I shouldn't even be thinking about it. But I want my money back. I mean, it's not even, what is it, 20 quid or something? I think it's maybe even less. No,
But
23.
I mean, it's incidental. If it was 28 cent, it's like it's the principle of the thing. But it's kind of it is like I mean.
No, it's not even the principle. It's just that like man, I'm not looking for anything off you. I just want you to answer and say like, oh shit, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want your money back or new cards?
Yeah.
I just want new cards. I don't give a shit about the money.
Or reply and go, ha ha ha
ha. I want a private meeting with Mr. Yoderovsky. And he's going to tell me to he's going to take me to take my menstrual blood and paint fucking business cards with it. That's the maddest fucking YouTube video. Yeah, listeners, if any of you are into tarot, go and watch fucking Yoderovsky's readings on YouTube. They're fantastic.
Yeah, because it's not he does readings and then he gives advice on what to do with it.
Yeah. He does this great reading and then he's like, yeah, well, obviously you need, take your period blood and make your business cards because that's what you have to do. Okay.
I mean, logically, like that's a logical kind of thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you'll get a real kick out of that cyber magic book if you ever get time to read it because it's all of that kind of like, oh, you had a problem with your father. Okay, you should probably dig a hole. And then come back to the hole every year.
What? Yeah. Who is into my Aga's grandma's into this kind of stuff. Burying chicken eggs on full moons and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Proper witchcraft.
Yeah. Proper, Polish rural stuff like that. Shamanistic stuff. I think it's bonkers. But like, I don't know the woman very well, and she's not very nice to me or to anyone really. Not just me. She doesn't like hate foreigners, and she just doesn't like anyone.
Anyone, right? Okay, so that's fair enough.
Well, I mean, she's old and had a shit life, so I don't blame her. Well, then again, has she had a shit life? I don't know. Actually, I don't know much about her. She's only little. Like, she looks lovely. Because you just want to run up and give her a little hug because she's so little and tiny. But like, no, she'd kick the shit out of you. Do you know?
Yeah. Oh well.
Come here, I have news for you. Seamus had a heart attack.
Oh, no way. You better tell who Seamus is to the people who don't know.
So Seamus, he's not co-host anymore because I changed the format of the podcast. But for a long time, Seamus was co-host of the comedy cast I was doing. And the poor devil, he had a heart attack. He has to go get and it's even like not a good one because like nowadays you get a heart attack and they're like, here's a stint.
Yeah. Stop eating fries, you'll be grand.
Yeah. Look after yourself. Here's a fucking balloon in your heart, you'll be grand.
Yeah.
Do you know? No, they're like, nah, man, you need a bypass. You've already had a mini heart attack.
Oh,
whoa, what?
Yeah.
What age is he? Had a sore chest.
Dude,
same as me.
Yeah. And
poor fella. So he'll be listening to this because I know he listens to this. So man, get well soon. We're thinking of you.
Oh,
well,
indeed,
I'm thinking of you anyway.
Well, I'm thinking of him too. Tell me that's genetic, lifestyle, bad luck, unknown.
No, he's diabetic, and he drinks like 17 cans of Coke every day.
Yeah, but I mean, so do a lot of people, I mean, like. Are you inferring that he deserves this? Is that what you're saying?
Oh God, no. If anyone deserves it, I do. No, but like he was, like it's really shit for him. I feel so sorry for him because he's, he's living in Kerry, but they put him into Cork Hospital.
Oh no.
The wife.
That alone.
The wife can't get in to see him. She can only see him through plastic.
Oh no.
Because of the fucking coronavirus. Isn't that awful? Imagine going into hospital to see someone and you fucking can't fucking touch him or hold him or,
It'd be worse if it was your kid or something though, like. At least it's an
of
adult
course,
who can
but, like-
explain and they know what's going on. But if it's a kid, they don't really know. Anyway, that's too weird. Let's get
but
off that.
the good is he wants to do, he was like, we want to do a podcast on this. I was like, fuck yeah, I want to do a podcast on this. So we're going to do one Wednesday or Thursday morning, I hope.
From the hospital? From the hospital bed?
From the hospital, live from Cork University Hospital, where the food is worse than your mother-in-law's face or something.
So I assume, but like, he's going to be all right. Like, I mean, that's
a bypass operation, man. I wouldn't fancy going in looking at that. Like,
I don't, me neither, obviously, but I mean, I'd much rather do it bypass operation in 2020 than 1964 or something like that. I assume they've got a lot better at it. And it's,
I suppose, yeah. Well, I mean, I'd rather get the stents, whichever way you want to pronounce them. Yeah. They're great because they put an incision in your arm,
right.
And they put it in, and then they just kind of poke it up until it gets to your heart,
right.
And then it just inflates, and it's magic. But like, fucking hell, bypasses, like they open you up, like, scissors in the chest.
That's it. The whole thing, clavicle.
Could you imagine like someone is going, a complete stranger is going to hold your heart.
Oh, that sounds so romantic. There's a film in this.
It's not romantic. It's the scariest fucking thing in the world.
Hold your heart. A lot of singing in this one.
I mean, it's scary, but like I suppose it's in, and they are proper, they're professionals, and
they've been washing their hands a bit more than they normally would. So I mean, he has that in his advantage. That's crazy.
It should be grand. Yeah. I'll do a sigil for you. Yeah. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
I hope you'll be fine anyway. Jesus Christ, you will be fine.
Yeah.
I've decided.
And just drop the importance. Try not to think about it.
Yeah. God, I gotta send him some books or something. Yeah. It's awful. You can't do anything. And you just, all right, I hope. Yeah. He'll be listening, so I'm getting all tongue-tied here now. So look after yourself, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll talk to you soon anyway.
Yeah. And, you'll be fine.
Do you know what? He's missing America fucking fall to pieces, though. That'd drive me mad. I've been staying up, as you know me and my fucking...
Yeah, Cans and Sky.
Cans and Sky News, watching the world fall apart. It's just like, I'm in my element, just going, I love all of this. This is amazing. I'm alive to see the end of democracy and capitalism. This is what I was sent here for,
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's very. It must be very scary for being there over there like that. It's like in a sense. I mean, not that it's like a bit for you saying like it's kind of entertainment. I know you don't really think that either, but like it's.
Don't I?
Well, you know what I mean. Like you're aware of the actual humanness within it all as well. But it must be terrifying if it was happening like. Down the street from you and not knowing how it's going to come out and all that.
Of course, I'm messing. So, like, how many people do we know just from Discord who are Americans? And our hearts go out to you. Look after yourselves, but at the same time, well, maybe not now. I'm too old for it now. I'm nearly 40. But 20 years ago, I'd have been there hurling rocks at cops for fucking sure.
Some of the stuff that you see the cops doing is just like unbelievable. Like. You go everyone is looking at you, and this is what you're doing. Imagine what you're doing when no one was looking at you.
Yeah. And that's what Black America's been saying for 40, 50, 60, 100 years more.
Yeah. The great tweet says you couldn't even stop police brutality at the march against police brutality. Oh man!
Have you been seeing my timeline is full of Trump is dead. This morning.
No, the only person who has been saying Trump is dead is you. So I had to follow that rabbit hole as well. The turn out the lights, though, it's not because he's dead. He's dead. The conspiracy is
totally dead. He's totally dead.
Is because the riots and people trying to attack the White House.
Man, he's dead, man. He's dead. He's totally dead.
Or you do a Kim Jong his number was back in 3 weeks and go, no, I wasn't dead.
No, I was watching this, what's it called? SpaceX, NASA X, Tesla.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they called?
SpaceX.
Elon Musk,
SpaceX.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I watched some of his speech, that man, and he knew his number was up, man. He fucking knew, like.
Did you see the weird, confusing perspective as he walks off the podium that he seems like he's walking in the spot for like 20 seconds? I'm not sure that video. It's so weird.
He's such a weirdo.
Yeah.
So he is. Like, he's like not only is he a complete fuckwit of a politician, he's just incredibly weird as a person. Just so strange.
Yeah.
And not in like a Bill Drummond cool way. He's just not these. I don't know. He's not human or something. And what the fuck? I just don't get him. I can't get into his head because it's like he hates immigrants, but like your mother's Scottish.
Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with you?
And you're married to an immigrant, like there's that.
And he's married. Well, he's had a million wives, and then there's all. I've been following anonymous all their accounts on Twitter, which are fucking great fun.
Right.
And they're showing all the photos of like the girls. Well, it's not nice, but like the underage girls he's holding and kissing and Epstein and.
Yeah.
I know. Look, my heart does go out to any American friends, and I don't have any relatives, but anyone I know out there, because like I don't know about you, man, but I've met hundreds of Americans just from working in the pubs I've been in, and I've never met a bad one.
No,
honestly,
I like a lot
never.
It's like
they're all lovely and friendly, and what's Dylan Moran says. Dylan Moran, the best thing about Americans is you never have to ask them to repeat what they've said.
Very true. Yeah, like all the Americans I've had any interaction on, and most of my friends are Americans and all that kind of stuff. They're like great people, and it's like it's such a like the kind of when people mention America, or whatever, in the kind of negative sense now and all that. It's never the actual people. Like it's just it's kind of the I suppose the big old pendulum or something. I don't know. It's very strange. Unless just the weird Americans just don't travel. That could be it.
What was I listening to the other day? I think it was that Dr. West that I shared on Facebook. He was on the CNN with that Anderson Cooper guy, and he gave a great 9-minute speech about
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Did he put it up?
Yeah, so I think it was his podcast with Joe Rogan, and I was listening to, and he was talking about why just like what kind of you were saying, at first people kind of go to the default anti-American. All Americans are thick and stupid and fat, and all they eat is hamburgers. And he's like, okay, there is that. Okay, there is that. But if you talk to someone in Ireland, someone in Iran, someone this way he said it, it's Iran, and so where whatever he was saying, just he listed off these countries. He says but if you mention Marvin Gaye, or you mention Aretha Franklin, or you mention whatever, he listed off a few other people, they all know and love this music. So America's given us all the wonderful bits of culture.
Oh sure,
that we have, pop culture or music, and it's amazing.
Literature, films, Jesus, everything
Of course. So I hope everyone's doing all right over there. But at the same time, I fucking understand it. And if I was fucking young over there, I'd be front and center giving it to them, because it's long past change needed. Should have happened in the 60s. And it's great to see people out protesting and saying, no, fuck you. Fuck you, we want change. Yeah. Good.
That's it. I mean, people are just, sick and tired. But I suppose I suppose the thing is, we've been here before, though. That's the hopefully it changes this time more.
I don't know. I think it's different this time.
Is it? Right, okay, good.
I think it's there was change in the 60s, and the hippies did kind of win, Problem with the hippies was they started getting money and then they became yuppies. But that's every generation. They get older. But there was change thanks to them. It took something horrible, like those kids in the college campus. What the fuck was the name of it? I can't think of it. It took for that to happen before. Shit. And plus as well, Martin Luther King changed so much.
Yeah.
And his death as well.
Yeah, they're saying that there was riots for 6 days after his death, and then it was the Civil Rights Act was enforced, so riots do
only a couple more days to go, Americans.
But it's horrifying, and it's very sad, and there's part of me, because someone on the Discord was going, what's the advantage in this, going to the reality transfer, and goes, well, I suppose the only kind of advantage, apart from going, well, it could be much worse, which it could of course be, but is that maybe something better comes out of it, that you need this kind of horribleness to get to
as well, Tommy. I've been following. Okay, obviously I'm watching the mainstream stuff, Sky News, CNN, even the odd bit of Fox News, just for the crack, Now, when it goes to ad break, I'm on the other ones, I go to Fox, and I just sit there going, Wrong. 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 You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. 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 You're all wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Anyway, shit! It took the thing out of my head.
Oh, for God's
What were we
sake.
talking about? Sorry, the news. So what's been brilliant has been the Reddit. Reddit's been so good for the news, far better than what
it is,
Twitter
yeah,
used to be. Twitter used to be amazing for news like 5-10 years ago, and now it's Reddit because Reddit's the only place that's been showing the positive stuff that's happening, which is that in loads of states and loads of cities, the police have been joining the protesters,
some
putting
of them,
down,
yeah.
taking off their armor, putting down stuff, putting down their armor and their batons and their shields and their helmets, and just saying, right, yeah, we're witches. We don't want brutality either.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then there's the other stuff like people coming out and cleaning up after the riots the next day. None of that's on the news.
None of that's been
None
shown,
of it,
yeah.
you know. But then you go to Reddit and something has like 250,000 upvotes on it and tons of comments, and so it's social media is showing how useful it actually is in times like this, you know.
Yeah,
For
it definitely
America.
does seem to be that Reddit is more what Twitter used to be. You know, that kind of Twitter's just
Yeah.
I don't know, it's such a terrible
cesspool.
place. Yeah.
Oh, dirt. Yeah, it's horrible. You know. So yeah, it's going to be interesting couple of days next, whatever's happening.
Yeah.
I think he's dead though. Dead.
Of coronavirus or assassination or just old age. Or what do you think?
But that's a bad thing. It's not like if there was a protest now, like in Ireland, like,
Yeah.
and let's say it was 10 years ago, and before you had the young lad, and even 5 years ago, like would you go? Because I wouldn't go now with my young lads.
I don't know. Depends on how, if it was the state that America's in and it was that kind of thing, I think you'd have no choice. It's just you're doing it. But like I didn't go to the water protests. I mean, I know it's not the same, but like I mean, millions went to that. 1 million went to that, you know. So, but I didn't more because I know there's 1 million going. I don't need to go. So I mean, but yeah, I don't. It's hard to know. I mean, it's like. You would love to be go, oh yes, definitely, I will always stand up for all the things and all that. And go, sometimes you don't, and you know, other times I think you just kind of have to. I don't think there's any choice. It depends on the kind of zeitgeist you're involved in, I suppose, at the time. But no, definitely, I wouldn't be bringing a kid to it. Like Jesus, no.
No. I think it's great though that there's so many, you know, white people going out as well and joining them. You know, it's great because it's fucking terrible what cops are getting away with in America, and they have done for years and years and years and years and years. You know, it's horrible.
I remember years ago I went to a George Bush protest in Dundalk, and there was like 17 of us. That's it. we stuck it to the man. Don't you worry. Yeah, there was some change after that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I used to go along to the odd one in Dublin as well, organised by like indie media, those types of things, and. Just like, what am I doing? Like, this is making no difference at all. And then there was always some idiot from like Young Sinn Féin or fucking. There's like an Irish Communist Party. One of them would get up and they do a
Socialist
speech.
workers.
And, I don't mind them to be honest. I'd have a soft spot for them. But like, they get up and they give their speech and they call everyone comrade. And it's like, Jesus, man, what are you doing? Fucking know your crowd, will you? Know your audience. Don't call people comrade. That type of communism is fucking fucked and over, and nobody wants that, you know?
Yeah.
Just brothers and sisters, or whatever, like comrade. Fuck off, will you? Oh.
A car.
But you know what? I finally understood the word comrade when I moved over to Poland.
Okay.
Because they use it like colleague. Say in Ireland, you'd call someone you work with is obviously a colleague, yeah? But in Poland, you can call someone, oi, kolego, which means, hey, you, colleague. But it means like, hey, man.
Right.
So comrade kind of comes from this thing as well. It doesn't actually have that kind of harshness that we understand in English.
Yeah.
You know, comrade in the Russian would have been just been like, you know, party fellow, party mate, or, you know, something like that. Rather than just being like, oh, my brother in the armed struggle against the capitalist
But we'd have
pig.
to use camaraderie, that word,
Camaraderie, yeah.
Right, you know, like doesn't have that kind of...
No, it doesn't. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
That the words that are so closely related just have completely different effects on what we think they are. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Words, man. Words are magic. I've been fucking nerding out on Terence McKenna fucking speeches, man.
Right.
God almighty. What a fucking hero that man was. I wish I knew him years ago before he died. Because fucking hell, what a legend that man is.
Yeah,
He's
no,
so
I really
smart.
like him.
It's
I just
unbelievable.
find his actual voice quite annoying. So, it's just like, oh, please.
He's like, what's his? Remember that '70s show? Was it Cheech or Chong was on it? I don't remember. I think Chong. Remember he was a character in that '70s show. He
No.
worked
Oh,
with
yeah, I do. Yeah, your man. The newsstand or something. Wasn't it?
yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a bit of that with Terrence McKenna. All right, but like, yeah, get through it, man. Push through it.
Oh no, I have
push
listened
through
to an awful lot of them. Like I really
Yeah.
have. Like and Dennis's brother as well. Although they're not, they're similar but very different. There's less woo, I suppose, with Dennis. Well, at least publicly. But yeah, no, I do like that. His stoned ape theory is quite fun. It's probably not true, but it's quite fun, And that
Yeah.
kind of was it him who originally came up with the whole idea of that the mushrooms came from outer space and that's the intergalactic kind of travelers because fungus does survive in in a vacuum and all that. But that's how they go out around the universe. They're colonizing the universe through.
Awesome, huh?
I got that. That's all great stuff. Like.
Every time I listen to him, I'm like, I need to take drugs again. I need to, But then I'm like, no, shit, no, I have 2 young children. No. I'm gonna have to wait till they go to college. Fuck.
One of my favorite quotes from him is goes, make sure you get a weighing scale, and that you're weighing out your drugs or your mushrooms before you take them. Not so that you don't take too much. It's just that in case you don't take enough. Make sure you're taking enough. All right, okay.
Hey, if this revolution happens in America, maybe like all drugs will be decriminalized and made legal, and then that'll spread across the world.
Well, Canada has pretty much decriminalized psilocybin, haven't they? The mushrooms.
That's right. Yeah.
It will happen. It'll happen therapeutically around the world first, and then it'll be 20 or like our kids will be able to buy psilocybin, in the newsagents.
We'll be all ringing up different doctors then and say, "Doctor, I'm feeling depressed. Will you give me mushrooms?" No. Well, I'm going to ring your buddy next door. Okay.
Hello, Dr. Mushroom. I'm feeling depressed.
I remember years ago I went to a doctor in Dublin, up around Parnell Street, and I'm like, we did it was chest thing. It was feeling asthma, and I said at the end of it, and it took me about 2 weeks to build up the courage to go to the doctor because I knew this was on my mind, but I said it was about asthma, and I'm like, "Doctor, I'm feeling a bit down." And he's like, "Okay, what do you want me to prescribe?" And I'm like, No, I don't want you to prescribe anything. I just like, do you know where I should go or see anyone? Oh, I can give you Xanax if you want.
Yeah.
No, and I just went, no, it's okay, thanks. And just, lived with depression for the rest of my time in Ireland.
Yeah, I had a similar experience, and the doctor was trying to like, "Oh, no, I have these samples, I can give you them right now for free." I was going like, no, stop it.
Samples, Jesus Christ. What is it, a fucking cosmetic shop?
So, no, I think it's like a box full of this stuff that he was just trying. And it was like something I went in because I legitimately had a rash in my foot that I couldn't get rid of, and he was trying to give me samples of antidepressants. Yeah, like
Ireland.
It's like, I don't know. But I have been to most of the doctors I've been to over the years have been quite awesome about the whole thing. So we have to give credit where credit's due and all that. Right, 33 minutes in. Bill Drummond, how are you? So we've talked about Bill Drummond before in the KLF episode, but this is kind of more his latter years. We've been going into particularly 2 documentaries. One is called Imagine, which is about his art project. Well, it's a bit about his art project, The 17. And then the other one is Best Before Dead. Isn't that what it is? Is that what it's called?
Best Before Death.
And that's a more up-to-date one about his a 12-year world tour where he goes to different country every year and does stuff for about 2 weeks or whatever. And that's a more modern one. That's not actually officially yet for about a month, but it was shown on Scottish BBC, which is how we seen it. So yeah, you like Bill Drummond, but you also had maybe the best reaction to a Bill Drummond documentary that I've ever heard.
I fucking hated Imagine. I absolutely hated it, so I did.
Yeah.
I think I got annoyed from the start because I was listening to it on headphones, and I rarely watch documentaries on the laptop or on headphones, and what annoyed me was from the start. There's a scene they're looking out to the ocean, and the fucking sound is awful on it.
Ah, right,
The sound isn't good throughout the whole thing, to be honest. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Is that like a codex issue, or do you think it's actually that's the way it was mixed like originally?
I think, look, to be honest now, and Jesus, I don't like doing this, but it's kind of like, if I made a documentary on my own and I put that out, I'd be happy with it.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it's television standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's for me, it's a YouTube standard documentary.
Well, it's 2013, isn't it? I think that's when that came out. 2014.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It has the feel of like either Bill hired like a local fucking bunch of students to do it, or a local bunch of students asked him could they do it.
Yeah, I think it's one
That
guy.
sounds,
isn't it?
and I know that sounds
Yeah.
shitty of me, but
Yeah.
I think like compared to the Best Before Death one,
Yeah.
that's a pro one, and
Yeah.
it's done fucking fantastically, and there's wonderful shots in it, and it's mixed properly, and the color grading, you know. Imagine, I didn't do it for me. But anyway,
Yeah, it seems more. I think, from what I know, it kind of. I'm not even sure it got a proper release. Should have looked at it. I think it was like extra features that came with, the book, or was part of the,
Right.
for his website or something like that. That's not. I don't think it's quite YouTube bad. Like, I mean, it's good, really good YouTube, not kind of YouTube bad kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the premise of Imagine, which is all about his his imaginary choir called the 17, and it's a reaction to him getting iTunes and realizing that he has access to every single bit of music that's ever been recorded, and then kind of going, well, that's crap in one way, it's kind of boring or whatever, and that what would happen, and this is where Imagine comes from, is imagine if you woke up tomorrow and all recorded music had been erased or is gone, and you can't remember how to, like, no one can play guitar anymore, no one knows how to sing, and so you're just kind of rediscovering music again.
There aren't even any guitars anymore. All instruments are gone.
Everything's gone, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sort of like, what then would music come, what would it sound like? And he imagines it as this thing called the 17. And the whole thing, which Spud doesn't like, is that none of it is to be recorded or preserved, or
It's all recorded.
but not the final performance though, like the bits, the kind of individual bits where so
Yeah.
the main crux of the documentary is part of his thing where he's going from the east coast of the UK to the west coast of Ireland along one line recording people. And the other parts of the 17, he went to schools and he'd record 5 different schools and then put it together, and that performance would be played once and then deleted. All of the things are played once and deleted. But there was a number of different things that was part of the 17 project. But this documentary is just about the straight line from whatever it is to Galway, essentially, right, somewhere in England to Galway. And he's going around taxi drivers and getting them to go, hoo, hoo, for 3 minutes. He has gone up to farmers and getting them to do different stuff. And just a kind of ordinary people or whatever. And then the nuns one, but that was very creepy though, wasn't it? When the nuns, it was like, they're going, ah, and you go, oh, that just sounds like death is stalking you or something, ah. And so they'll do this for 3 minutes. And then there's a guy, it's John Hurst, I think is his name, is the engineer dude. So he records them and he's kind of mixing them together. And then at the end of it is a performance, which I'll hand to you about the performance at the end.
As soon as I heard it, I sent a video to Tommy from what's his name? Not Sid Vicious, the other one. Is it Sid Vicious?
Yeah.
The singer.
Johnny Rotten. Johnny Rotten.
Johnny Rotten. Johnny Rotten. There's a famous thing he said to a crowd in Wales, I believe. And they did, like, instead of doing their usual hour and a half set, they did like 2 songs and took their money, and he said something like, you ever feel like you've been ripped off?
Yeah, been cheated. Been cheated.
Or cheated.
Yeah,
you ever feel like you've been cheated? So I sent that to Tommy because I felt so fucking heartbroken.
Yeah.
That, like, you see how this music track is made, and you buy into his vision because you're like, that's a fucking cool idea, man.
Yeah.
To make something from nothing and just use random people that, like, it's not like he's like looking up his Filodex and finding like the old people he used to collaborate with when he was in the KLF or whichever other thing he was part of. All that. He does none of that. It's just normal random people or school kids or these religious choir, and it's a great idea. But I think what annoyed me the most was that maybe so they go to the island.
Yeah, so you have
they
to
go
explain,
to the island and they set up the speakers and they just play the song out to the ocean. Okay, it's kind of romantic looking, in fairness, but
also this is the first time that Bill Drummond himself has heard the final thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I assume John Hurst, the engineer, has heard it because he's mixed it and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they play this and the film doesn't let you hear it. It puts it down to like a 30-second thing of, Bill looking forlorn out across the ocean or whatever. But like, okay, that annoyed me.
Yeah.
That we don't get to listen to it. But also I think it's ridiculous that the people who were recorded weren't part of the performance.
Oh, but they were all invited to come and listen to the final performance.
Of course they were invited,
yeah.
but like, if that was like a proper documentary funded by lots of people, like the second one is, then probably they could have organized people to come to this one. No, look, my problem with it, Tommy, is that I don't think it's just kind of, I don't see the point of making art just for yourself. And what comes across for me in this is that it's very, it's selfish what he does. Mm-hmm. It's narcissistic.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm going to get all these people to do what I want them to do, and I'm going to make a song, and I'm going to listen to it, and none of fucking yous can listen to it because I'm an artist.
Well, everyone can listen to it who are invited. Like, all of the ones were invited to come and hear the final thing. And then when he's doing the other things, people do come and hear it. Like, there is loads of performances and loads of kind of things. It's just, I think, in a sense, your issue is an issue with the documentary rather than the project itself, because of how.
Absolutely. That is exactly what it is. Yeah, because it's not the project. I think the project's brilliant, but
how would you have had, where the whole entire thing is to not record something? How would you have finished that documentary to your satisfaction, given the remit that is?
You know what? Okay, what I'd have done if I was the filmmaker, then I'd have made sure that as many of the people as possible who were part of it were there.
Yeah, right.
If they were there, and then you could show their reactions as it was being played, because they'd all have loved it. Because like we do get to hear a little bit of it when your man is doing the mixing. Yeah. It's the overspill from his headphones, and it sounds pretty cool. Yeah. So if you filmed their reactions rather than just Bill looking all looking all mental. That's how you would have finished it. And you would have had fucking one of the best documentaries I've ever made.
I get you. I think what also because we were talking about this, was that.
Because I was furious when I was texting.
I was so
probably as angry as you've seen me.
In the middle of it going, because I was kind of trying. Well, I feel I need to defend Bill. I was going like, why? It's not my art project.
Yeah.
And he's like, isn't it? What I ended up saying, isn't it wonderful that you've had such a reaction to it? Which it is. Like it's great that the negative thing. But I think why I had a kind of a different reaction is a number of things. One, I'm in the middle of reading the book, so I have the bigger picture of what's going on around kind of his idea. So I knew I would have had the reaction you had I heard the song at the end. Because I know the whole point of what he's doing, and then have to go, we're just going to play it and go, well, what the fuck, what are you on about for the last hour and a half? Saying no one's going to hear this, and then you play it. Class. But also, I really love, and I've got really into the kind of idea, because I'm so not like this, of the art, because he's saying, like, when I wanted to be an artist, when I went to art school, what the kind of thing that would make you successful would be that you'd make paintings and then rich people in America would buy them. And there was this kind of whole idea of art is only good if there's like a legacy, or it's preserved, or same with the recorded music. Music only exists because we've recorded it, and that's the thing. And he's kind of like, oh well, why does it have to be like that? Why can't it just be a performance, just one thing? But we're so obsessed with capturing it, photographing it, recording it, keeping it, is the main thing of art. And goes, well, what if we do art where it just happens and then it's gone? I was going, that's class. I will never do that, but it's class. Yeah. Because I'm so I'm not going to do all this effort for
Exactly.
For nothing. But I love that because there's a bit where at the beginning he's got this big sign and it's the 17, and he essentially goes to the side of the road and throws it into a puddle. And in fairness, there's something very, if that was a cover of an album or something, you go, that's class, it is really good.
Yeah.
But your man, the director's going, this is shit, man. What are you at?
Yeah.
This is. He goes, who's going to see it? And Bill goes, I've seen it. And he goes,
that's my problem. You
Yeah.
see, that leads me to my problem.
but he
because
also
it's
then says,
narcissistic.
and the camera has seen it.
Well, yeah.
So
He gets away with it there on that one.
But I do know what you
just-
mean. But I think it is narcissistic. But I love the confidence in the thing of going that I can do art that, and once I know I've done the art, it doesn't matter about anyone else. If other people had been there, he wouldn't be going, don't look at this art. This is just for me to look. It's not exclusionary in that way. He would say, everyone come over and look at it. He just doesn't think anyone cares. But he's going, as long as I seen it and I did my bit and I did it, then I don't care. Then it's done.
But I have a little bit of a problem with that. Actually, I have a big problem with
Right.
that. I don't think art should be selfish. I think art should be shared. That's it.
Okay. I think art is tremendously selfish.
It's like what you
and I
said.
think
Like,
it should be
there's no
selfish.
point in you doing all your comics and then not showing them to anyone. What's the point?
Well,
It's not
yes,
art.
yes. Well, it depends. Like, I mean,
It is art,
It's
but
the
it's
old,
not like-
It's the old kind of. Well, I mean, if I did all the same comic and it just sat in my hard drive, it's still art. Well,
It's
point-
not, but,
it's-
but do you know what? I was thinking about this, and something came to my head about they in some of the Buddhist temples they ask the students as they're studying or meditating, they say, what makes grass green? And they're like, well, the science, nature, da, 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 da. And eventually they come to the realization that, me,
Yeah.
I make it green.
Yeah.
So for something to be art, okay, you can say it's art,
Yeah.
but I also want to say it's art.
Right.
The thing. I don't. It's this. It just came across incredibly selfish, which compared to the second film was completely opposite.
But has the exact same ethos to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just before, it's interesting though you mentioned the Buddhist thing, because there is a thing that's very similar in certain sects of Buddhism where they make these like immensely complicated mandalas out of stones or sand. These like intense, intricate pieces that are immediately destroyed once they're finished.
Yeah.
So it's.
But you look like that's like the fun of when you go to the beach and you make circles and mad shit on the sand, or even sandcastles. Like it's gone half an hour later when the tide comes in. I get that. I get the what's the word, the immediacy of art, or not immediacy, the fucking temperance.
Yes.
I'm totally on board with that.
Yeah.
I think it's a savage idea, brilliant idea, and fucking more of it.
But then how is not then, say, the book, which is his kind of documentation of that entire project, not then the sharing of the art? Or the documentary, for its flaws, is the sharing, because it's a sharing of an idea rather than, because the whole idea is not to record the art.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way of sharing it, so that we've become, and
Yeah.
as part of the 17, there's the 400 scores where he goes, go and do this. Everyone get involved and do it and be part of it. And at the end, in the documentary, he gets you to do a thing. I did it. I don't know if you did it, but because I was on my own, I mightn't have done it so much if I. But when you become you're everyone, and the 17 is any 17 people who decide. So it's very inclusive in that way. But I do understand what you're saying. But I think I'm attracted to it, whereas you're kind of repulsed by it, because there's something. It's like it's the burning the £1 million thing. It feels dangerous or something. There's something, to do something so worthwhile and put all this effort into it and to just delete it. It's like there's something taboo about it. There's something, I don't know, that I just find fascinating that he's and of course he has the whole history of it, because not only burning the £1 million, but deleting all the KLF records as much as he could do.
Which isn't true, as we saw in the second documentary.
Well, he has all the No, it is the 17 one.
They have all the master tapes, tapes, or video, whatever it is.
But you can't buy it at a KLF CD, so he deleted the catalogue, the sales.
They're not deleted.
No.
Liar.
Well, they're not. Well, they're not. They were never. Well, I never got the idea that they deleted the master.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Because you know, when people say something to me, I believe them.
No, but what they said is they deleted the catalogue, that you can't buy it anymore.
Oh, did they? Sorry, I thought they said they
thing.
deleted all their songs.
Yeah,
okay. But then again, you wouldn't say delete anyway. You'd say destroy in that case, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's on me as well. That's my bad as well.
But it is interesting though that it is. I think it's the 70 or Imagine documentary. There's a big kind of container. You know, the big blue containers arrive and it has all the KLF stuff, and it has the brick, the £1 million brick. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, imagine that. Imagine that in your house. Yeah. But he has
Show it in the
all
cop's
the
face.
old kind of ADAT tapes and all that stuff. I'm surprised they do have all that. Like, so there is some sort of sentimentality.
I'm surprised.
in it as well.
I'm surprised they kept that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
really am. If they are as Discordian or whatever as we're kind of led to believe, then what the fuck are they doing with it? Throw it in the sea. You know?
So they're, like,
make a symbol out of it.
and he says we've been offered, you know, millions and millions of pounds to do all this, you know, to hand this over or whatever. But there is an interesting one. I think it's in the other one where he's going, of course, when we did that, when we tried to delete the KLF, whatever, we didn't know that YouTube was going to exist. You know, so it's like, it seems pointless now because everything's on YouTube. He says even this documentary will probably end up on YouTube. But he says, like, at the time it felt like we were, you know. We're split. We're leaving the band until world peace has been achieved, and then we get back again.
Yeah, good luck with that, Bill.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally understand where you come from on the 17 documentary, and I think don't not read the book because of it. Like, I mean, it's I think you will.
Oh no, come on! If anything, it makes me want to read the book a bit more to get to know, because it's just. Yeah, it was the way you said it to me there then. So my problem is more with the documentary and how it was done rather than this. It's not like I would have loved to have heard the song. Absolutely loved to have heard it, because I'd say it was absolutely brilliant, you know? Even though it's just like sampled people singing and his little keyboard and whatever. Like, I know anyone can do it themselves. Jesus, I've done stuff. You've done stuff with this. I've done stuff with it. We've all done it. Anyone who's dabbled with Reason or Pro Tools or whatever, Cubase, showing my age,
Cakewalk,
Fruity Loops, whatever.
Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
They're on a cereal.
Starburst, I believe they're called now, Maltesers or something. No, but like, that's I would have loved to, but yeah, the problem is that it wasn't shared. That's my thing with art. I think all art, for it to be art, must be shared. Otherwise, it just files on your hard drive. You know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I like, but how is a drawing not an art, not a piece of art, just because of where it rests? You know, I know what you're saying too. Like, I mean, I get you, and obviously I agree because I release everything.
But Tommy, it's because it was a collaborative thing. It's because he had other people involved. Like, if it's just him doing the samples, whatever at home, grand, okay, that's you. But the fact that he got, like, you know, there's probably a couple of hundred people involved in this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't shared. That rubbed
me
up.
But that's not his. Like, but again, that's not his fault. That he did invite everyone to come and listen to it. They just didn't turn up.
He did, but he didn't mean it.
Oh, he does. Like, going by the book, he does.
No, if he meant it, he'd have paid for their flights.
He gave them an invitation on a piece of paper. What more do you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, some of the other stuff when he goes to the schools, like, he does make like an actual event of coming to it, like, and people do come, and there's plenty of performance.
Yeah, that's great.
The very first performance of the 17 is great in the book, and it's not mentioned at all. It's before he realised, I think, that he didn't want to record it, so or preserve it. So obviously the first time he hears the choir is when he's in the Land Rover and it's the engine, and then he starts going mental, which is awesome. So then he decides, right, I'm going to actually go and record this. So he ends up in a recording studio. There's a band who are recording an album, and they wait out afterwards through the night, and they're going to record this 11-minute or 17-minute thing. So they all get drunk, they're winding around, they're all sitting in the room, there's 17 of them, and everyone's and they record it and they put the engine to it. He says he went home thinking, this is it, this is the future of music, this is just the best thing. Wakes up the next morning and goes, yeah, no one wants to hear this ever. Delete it. And he says and he didn't even listen to it. He says because there's no way that listening to that recording is ever going to be as good as the memory of me recording it with all these people.
Yeah, of course.
So it's only going to make it worse and ruin it. He says from then, right, I'm not recording this.
You know that yourself, because like anytime, like if you go to a gig and then the live album comes out, if you weren't at the gig, the live album's not that good.
No.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, but if you were there, say, yeah, I remember that bit. Yeah. This is the bit where fucking Kirk goes on fire.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or if you go, I remember him being totally out of key when he sang this bit. It's strange that it's now perfectly in key. It's odd. That guitar sounds perfectly in tune.
I know you hate Pearl Jam, so here's one for you. Pearl Jam did one of their last gigs in the Point before the old Point closed. And you remember there was the downstairs standing and the upstairs sitting. So towards the end of the gig, he told that awful Point Dublin story he always used to love to tell. But he got booed by some people.
Right.
And they were like, he's like, well, what's going on here? I sense some negativity. Is everything okay in the back? And they were going, boo, boo. Now, it turns out, years later, that they were shouting boo because one of the kind of substitute Pearl Jam members called Boone, and it was his birthday, and the people were trying to say happy birthday to Boone.
Oh, right,
so no one fucking copped it. But they edited it out of the live album you could buy.
Right.
Because Pearl Jam were doing that like 2 weeks after.
They had the bootleg of every gig.
Every European gig or whatever. And it was edited out, and I was like, "You fuckers!"
Yeah, because I think I did hear but that thing. It's the keyboard player, wasn't it? That it was.
Yeah, keyboard player. Yeah.
So I think I've heard that, or at least they acknowledged that maybe at different gigs because they're when they were doing here's my Credian guitar, whatever it is, and here's boo, and everything
goes boo,
and it's sort of got it. So maybe I get it. Like, it don't matter. If you're going to do if the whole thing is releasing the official bootleg, don't edit it.
Oh, warts and all, man. Yeah.
Because I have heard some of them, and they're terrible. Like, there is edited guitar solos and stuff. But good.
What was that shop on the canal in Dublin where you could buy all of them? I love that place.
No, I was going to say number 10, number 1. That was something like that, wasn't it? But it was a white, and you could go in all the videos.
Yeah.
Noel Gallagher went in one day and bought all the Oasis stuff. And your man just goes, just tap it. I'm not charging it. Not cool.
Yeah. Anyway, the second one I loved, man.
Second documentary.
The Best Before Death. Loved it. Thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what I just to re-say what it is. So he thinks he's going to die he's going to die by 72 because his granddad died at 72. So that's what he's given himself. So he's already bought all the genes that he will need up until he's 72. But every year he's going to a significant city in his life to do basically art installations in these different places. So he has different things where he has the cake circle, which is fun, the soup, makes a bed, and other stuff. But what I really liked what he was talking about, he says, well, why are you picking these cities? And he goes, well, they mean something to me. Like, so the one, he goes to the place in India, and he says, well, I was originally asked to be here years and years ago, and we were meant to be doing a documentary, and I ended up in a temple of Kali, and I realised just how shitty I'd been to women in my life, and it was a big kind of revelation to me. So it's kind of, that's become a significant part of my life story. And I go, that's cool, and I really understand it, because last year I did something very similar, where I did this thing, I called it the Stations of Your Own Cross, where I went round to the different parts of my life, or to the places that, there was significant parts of my life. And it seems to be something that some humans need to do or want to do, is kind of that, kind of coming back years later to the scene of the crime kind of a thing, and kind of getting in touch with it, or like it's some sort of closure or something. So I understand completely him picking the cities in the way he did. The other one is Lexington, which was just, he was there when he was a kid, and he remembers, how different it was, that it was, very segregated, very, lots of racism. And he has that interesting story about seeing the shoe shine guy and how, he just thought this is the greatest thing ever. But then looking back as an adult, realizing that, the situation that it was in, and, the kind of thing. And that bit where he's kind of, so he does a bit where he's going to shine people's shoes, but in return, they have to tell them their dreams, as it's a very Bill Drummond thing to do. But he's there and just surrounded by poverty and kids and stuff, and he says to the director, yeah, this is bad, man. This isn't right. And even some guy in a motorbike kind of comes out and shouts at him and stuff like that, but he does end up, shining some shoes, and some kids dance for him, and it's, it's not the worst, but you could tell he's going, yeah, this is a bad idea, man.
This is a bad one. That's good. That's good that's left in, and he shows it, because it means, some artists, well, everyone you get it wrong every now and
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And then I suppose he did it then in Lexington, and you could just see him bored out of his tree. No one's into it at all either. Like he's just kind of sitting there, and then the sign falls over. Perfectly timed B-roll.
Well, yeah, that's because in America nobody walks. Pavements are optional in most. They are honestly.
right,
Everyone
okay.
drives in America.
Right.
Yeah, that's why they go to war over petrol all the time because they need to fill their cars because they don't walk.
Right. Was not aware.
Yeah, it's mad.
So my favorite line I think in the entire thing is that why not just buy a bed line that I texted you. Because I think it just sums him up perfectly. But so one of his things is he goes and he builds a bed in every one of these cities, and then he sleeps in the bed, and then he gives the bed away in a raffle the next day. And he says, the art is in the bed. He says the art is the dreams you have in the bed. So.
But like it's not an IKEA put together thing. Like he buys lumber.
Oh, here's a question: what's the difference between a 3x1 and a 1x3? Because he makes a distinction of it. I've gone, is there a difference?
Yeah. So a 3x1 is the you're talking about. It's okay. So one of them is you're talking about the width of the edge.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah.
The other one is like is the. I'm not explaining this properly. One is like this width.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And the other is when you turn the plank, and it's this width of the really small bit.
Okay.
You get me?
So there is the 1x3 and the 3x1 are different.
Yeah. 3x1 and 1x3. And then the Americans really confuse it because what they call a 2x4, we call a 4x2.
Of course.
They have it backwards. You know. Yeah. She says like it's to see him make a bed. Like he buys the lumber, and then he uses a fucking a wooden mallet and a chisel, one fucking chisel, not loads of chisels that are probably as dull as fucking ditch water, and he chisels out the fucking mortal. What are they called? Mortal and pestles, I think they're called. And I should know this. And then puts it all together, and it's like if you were to ask a carpenter to make a bed like that for you, he'd look at you like you're fucking mental. Because he's like, are you serious? That's going to take me, at least 2 weeks to do, and it's going to cost like $2,000 or €2,000 to make a bed. It's like, just buy one off IKEA or any fucking website. And he makes this bed, and she says he's screwing in.
Hand screwing in the screws.
He's hand screwing in.
And he has a lot of 3 hours for it or something.
And your one says to him, why don't you just hammer screw in nails? And she's like, he's like, they're not nails, they're screws, first of all. She's like, he's like that with people. He loves correcting people. That would, no, I don't like people that do that. That annoys me. Reminds me of priests from my past. They're always fucking correcting people. It's like, you wear a frock for a living, shut up.
Yeah.
What am I on about? So she says, why don't you get a cordless drill? He's like, why don't you just buy a bed? It's great. It's absolutely brilliant. Like, it's so fucking good. No, but I love that because he makes these things in every city that he goes to, leaves them there for the people to use. And this is the sharing of the art.
Yeah.
That and I didn't like it with the other one, But yeah, it's just brilliant, and he just hangs out with local people. The bit with the band in Lexington, he just ran into them. He was in a coffee shop. They were talking behind him or in front of him. He was like, "Here, you're in a band. I need you to play some music for me." Okay, and then it turns out like that's the other thing he does. He makes soup in every city, makes a bed, and he gets a local band to do or musician to do a version of one of his songs off his solo album from years ago, and like. Fucking, that's brilliant. Yeah. Do you imagine Bill Drummond walks up to you like, who the fuck is this guy? And then you go home that night, Google it, and you're like, whoa.
But you see, there's a great bit in the documentary of that where he's going around, he's doing this cake circle, which he draws a circle on the map and then goes to five, six different places on the circle and gives people a cake. And of course, most of them go, oh, thanks. But there's one where he's going around and he's finding it very hard, and one of the women goes, there's a reason behind that cake. And he goes up and he goes, yeah, well, here's what I'm doing. I go around every year. I'm on a 12-year tour. This is the Lexington Cake Circle. And they go, and who they filming? And they go, oh, they're making a documentary about me. Oh, I'll take the cake. Yeah. Oh, suddenly everyone loves him. A documentary about you. Oh, yeah, I'll see someone important. Yeah. The cake thing is mad though. Like, it's like, well, it's because you're like you're sitting there going, yeah. So we bake a cake, right, and then we give them to people. In a circle in a city, right. And then goes and does it.
Yeah. And it's like, You know, they're just like, you know, 5 crappy sponge cakes.
I know,
It's not
yeah.
like Forest Gatos or anything
And you
like
want to say
that.
to him, "Do you make money from this?" And he means, "You mean from the cakes?" And he goes, "No, no, indirectly."
Here, were you freaked out by the amount of people that live in Kolkata? Kolkata, whatever it's
Yeah,
called?
yeah, but I mean, that's India
Oh.
for you, isn't it? So, like, it's
I was getting fucking claustrophobia just looking at the
Yeah.
shots. Like, there's so many people there. That's mental. You know?
compared to then Lexington, where it's like empty, like there's no one.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think I'd be more inclined to go live in Lexington. All right. Everyone in Lexington is going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I'd see your man, the son, when he's driving him around the cake circle, and he's you know, you can see he's being well prepped by the director, but Bill's on because, "Oh yeah. You've been talking to the director. He just wants to, you know, to get all the secrets out of me." I loved in the 17 as well when he goes to the school and any questions, and one wee kid puts up his hand and goes, "Why did you burn $1 million on the stage?"
And then the second kid asks him something very similar as well. It's brilliant, yeah. It was good of him to leave it in because he's probably sick of those questions, but like...
Yeah, his answer now is, well, why do you think? Maybe you have a good answer because I don't have a good answer.
I don't have a good answer, yeah. It's good as well. They showed the bits off the RT's Late Late Show that aren't on YouTube.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously, that's the reason why,
Yeah.
you know?
Your man going, "I think it's brilliant," the young fella. "I think it's really refreshing. It's awesome."
Yeah. That would, if me and you were in the crowd, that would have been me or you, you know? There's always one fucking idiot, you know?
Remember on the Late Late Show when, was it Ardal O'Hanlon said something, it slagged off, it says, "Oh, 600 years of oppression," or something like that, and there's one guy just stands up clapping away. Everyone else, stony silence. I don't know if it was the Late Late Show, but it was something.
I was watching it the other night, and I never watched it. Sinead O'Connor was on it, and she was amazing. She was brilliant. I really like Sinead. I have a lot of time for Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, she's...
As a person more than a musician, I'll be honest.
Well, that's
I think she's great.
one of my my things is what I was saying to you about the whole when you were flipping out about Bill Drummond on Discord, and I was going, well, it's one of the things that I'm more interested in him as an artist than I am of necessarily his art, because I mean, you can look at the bed and you go, "That's the bed," you know, or whatever. But his thought process, his idea, why the bed has been made, why he's done it, that's far more interesting to me. So what's the thing, like not hearing the song at the end of the 17 is less so annoying because I'm not that interested in much sense about the song, more interested in why he made the song.
Yeah. I get that. Well, see, I'm not a proper artist like you, so you know, I would still like to hear the song.
I've seen your art.
Like,
It's pretty awesome.
yeah, I'm working on it. No, but then again, though, go just thinking on what I did say about Sinead O'Connor. Actually, most of her music is actually very good. It's just not really my thing. But anyway,
and we all owe her a huge apology over the ripping of the Pope image. That turned out to be true.
Was dead right. Turned out to be dead fucking right. Yeah, fair play to her. She was saying she wants to be she's going back to school to learn to be to get qualified as a carer, like work in hospices. Could you imagine you're dying and Sinead O'Connor walks in? "Hello, what's going on here?"
Am I dead?
"Hi, I'm just here to take care of you." "Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, all right. Can we sing together? Can I play some music and you sing?"
No!
Sinead O'Connor's in my fucking room. Could you imagine, like, Tommy, Sinead O'Connor's in my fucking room, man. What do we do? Play some music. All right, yeah, okay, yeah. All right, Sinead, do you want to sing? We won't sing that one. You're probably singing that one, but put a couple of chords together.
You just got lost in a fantasy now.
Yeah. Do you know, as I do, fucking Walter Mitty head on me. Do you know, I think what something else that struck me about Bill Drummond, because we've spoken about this a lot as well, like, does he know, like, because we're trying to put him in a box.
Sure.
Is he doing Chaos Magic? Is he a Discordian? Is he whatever label?
Yeah.
And what I got from this was, no, he's none of them.
Yeah,
like,
he's
not. Just Bill Drummond.
Yeah.
You know?
Like there's a bit where he's
just
talking to some of the Indian women and they're trying to explain the cake circle, and he's just trying to explain it, and he just these blank faces.
They don't get
I
it,
said to Vanessa, goes, "I guarantee you that 90% of the faces Bill Drummond sees are those faces."
Probably so. Yeah. No, I think it's just I reckon that when he did the Illuminatus stage show, was a part of that. I reckon he did pick up a lot of ideas from that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still think that he's just doing stuff for the hell of it and for the sake of it. Do you know? I think I'd say though that from like, and we can kind of infer that he may not admit to, but like, I mean, he hasn't treated people very well in the past. Like the thing about the going to Calcutta for the women,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Plus, like, I mean, he wrote a song about wanting to chop off what's his name's head, like, you know.
Julian Copes, yeah, he says that I'll link you an interview where he's talking about that. He says it's kind of, well, at least he says in hindsight that it was kind of a joke, like kind of, just a kind of a gentle thing. But like, listen to the song, it doesn't sound funny.
Yeah. He definitely cuts his head off. You know, I mean, you know.
Oh, wait, and he kind of says, "Oh, it could have been anyone." It's just I just picked that name. Yeah.
No. They have a history.
Oh,
you know. Sure, he managed their band, didn't he?
And I think
Cope's first
Julian
band.
Cope has a song about Bill Drummond too, or at least mentioned
Right.
in a song.
So like,
And he has 4 wives and whatever it is, 7 children.
Yeah.
At the beginning of like in the first 40 pages of the book, his wife leaves him. Up to 17, like, or his partner, whatever it is. So I don't even know. And like, but it's the 3 kids together, and he's there, keeps referring to things. For all of the stuff that you probably really want to hear about, I'll leave that to other sources to tell you all about. He says I'm talking about the 17 and music here. So
like I'd say he's fierce, fucking irresponsible when it comes to life.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I'd say he's
like,
hard to
he's
be
really
married to,
mental.
or harder. Like I might kind of why can't my why can't my brain work?
Why can't my words?
My test for people that is lip pronounce that word for me, will you?
Litmus?
Litmus test.
Litmus.
Jesus, well done.
Litmus.
For people is what would it be like if they were at your table at a wedding, and like if you had to deal with them for 2 hours, whatever. And I'm kind of going, I'm not sure Bill Drummond would be that much crack, really. Like compared to some people, but I'd say he'd be. I don't know, like, would he be good in that kind of social interaction thing? I know you're saying you've noticed that he's these kind of social interaction issues, I suppose, with people and.
Look, come here, say it out. I said he's autistic.
Yeah.
He has to be. Because he's not very good with people.
No.
But
it's that more because
that's a bit shitty of me
to.
That's a bit shitty of me to put on him.
Yeah.
But I'm like, maybe he is somewhere on the spectrum, because someone of that age wouldn't be diagnosed. I mean, I know people who are only diagnosed in their 40s.
Yeah,
so it's autism's still kind of a new thing, So look, let's say he isn't. None of us know, but it's just something I picked up from both documentaries. Like he's and as well from reading the KLF book. Like he's and wanting to chop off Julian Cope's head. He's and as well as one other one as well. The BBC kind of mockumentary thing that's quite good, but it's more comedic than documentary. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be very good with people, and it's kind of like, well, I'm doing this my way for the shits and giggles, and he's not really responsible. But like, who the fuck am I to be moral high judging anybody? You know what I mean? Like, fuck it.
No, I'd be interested to kind of see his reaction. Sorry, sorry. I go back to my habit of talking over you, which is like one of my pet peeves in life is people interrupting me. But yes. Clearly, I don't give a shit.
Oh, you would hate to live in Poland, man. You would hate it.
Well, what I
just have to.
There I did it again. Oh, Jesus Christ! I'll just give up. I'll write you a letter. What I want to say is, I would love to see what happens when Bill Drummond is told no, and is there a temper tantrum? Does he just go ahead and find a way around it?
I'd say he'd do it anyway. Yeah. I'd say so. Yeah.
You said something really good to me, though. You said about the 17 goes, if it was some kind of art student did it, that I would think it was shit as well. And I do understand that, but I was thinking about that, and I do think I would probably think it's shit. But I also think that if someone came up with if my friend Frank came up with the whole rudderless thing of Alan Moore, I think it's shit as well. So I mean, there is an awful lot to do with it. The person saying it is, is as much part of it as it is. So I mean, if an art student did do it, it would be shit because it's not Bill Drummond doing it.
Of course, they've got credit in the bank because of what they've done already.
Yeah.
I get that already, but like the second documentary, The Best Before Death, that raised his level again for me.
Yeah,
it's just imagine it was probably the fault of people making the film rather than the rather than the idea for the art he wanted to do, because I think the art is absolutely brilliant. And like, actually, I had a good friend, or became good friends with an American who was over here doing a semester in one college as an art teacher. Ooh, not a professor. Would he be professor? Let's call him a professor.
Okay.
Professor Joe. And Joe was amazing. And he did temporary art exhibition. Like, stuff couldn't be bought. It was just up, and there it is, and it was gone the day after that. Do you know what I mean? That's amazing. But again, you know, there was a gallery thing at the end of it where lots of people got to see it and say, "Hi, this is nice," and have their tea and coffee and whatever and go home. But like, it's just the share. I always get back to it, but that's just me, man. It's the whole. I'm just a sharer. I think stuff should be shared around, and that's where my whole thing of socialism probably comes from. You know, I think stuff should be shared, and you know, but as well, if you want to make money on something, of course, make money off it. I'm not against that. At all. But it's just sharing is caring.
Yeah,
man.
I get it, and I think I would probably feel the same if no one was invited to the performance. And I know by where it was and all that there's very less chance people would turn up to the thing. But he did, like, knowing the other stuff he did where people did turn up and it was part of it. So, but I do understand what you're saying. What I love about it is I love the temporariness of it. I find that really attractive and kind of, I'd say, the danger. Danger's not the word, and taboo is not the word. It's somewhere between those two words. It's like I don't have that, and he's so easy with that it's like, well, yeah, let's. It's like so he'd be the type of guy who'd build this perfect Lego monument of the Taj Mahal and go, done, splash, right? Or I'd taken pictures of it. I'd be telling people, it's in the doing it. That's it. That's what it is. Not the preserving the thing for future generations or kind of. He reckons that we look back on the 20th century and the 21st century of this whole idea of recorded music as a very weird thing, that it was a kind of a small block of history of how we enjoy music, that it'll go away, that we won't feel the need to record this kind of stuff. I don't know. I know why he's kind of saying that, but it's.
Well, I mean, we can see that. I think with photography, I think photography is a dying art already. It's only 100 years old, but because our phones are so good now, like, I can take a photo just as good as you as long as I go to the same place that you were in.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you, Jimmy. What's his name?
Which one?
Jimmy Shoe. Jimmy Shoe. What the fuck? Is it not Jimmy? No, John. Jimmy Shoe makes posh shoes for women. There's one of these master classes. It's adventure photography.
Oh, yeah, man.
And he has a rope thing around it. It's like, what the fuck, man? You're not a good photographer. You're just rich and you can fucking learn how to rock climb. The fuck out of here. You put me on the top of that mountain and I can take exactly as good a photograph as you. Fuck off.
Yeah, no, but like, I suppose the only thing about when you kind of level the playing field between people who can afford good cameras and people who have them is that there's a chance you'll get, really good photography, a lot of stuff, will become more. It's like YouTube. It's like everyone can do it, but the cream rises to the top, all of that kind of stuff. When you socialize video making and you get YouTube, well, I mean, that's far from fucking perfect by any means. It has a few issues, but it just shows that that it changed. YouTube changed our world, and so for people having access to that level of photography is definitely going to change. My point is that you're saying it's a dying art form. I don't think it's a dying art form. It's a metamorphosis art form. It's going to become something else,
But I don't think he's right about the music though, because like if you. If we were around 200 years ago and you went to a pub or whatever and there was a band playing, like, you'd know the songs that were being played because they were songs that were known. Yeah. Or else they'd come up with something original and that would become known. So it's not like who the fuck ever goes to see a band and they're like, I know none of the songs that are going to be played. I know nothing.
Yeah, but I think his point was saying like that if you were into Beethoven, the only way you would ever go to Beethoven or know Beethoven songs is you had to go and listen to people playing them at an event. It was a place and time, you went Friday night, 6:00, that's it. There was no Beethoven 9 a.m. Tuesday morning. And if you weren't anywhere near someone who was playing Beethoven, you never heard Beethoven. Yeah. So there wasn't a kind of widespread thing. Yeah, but I hate going to gigs. I don't know. I unless I know the band, and then but it's also, I remember being years ago at a Steve Vai gig, and it was like, and he's playing all the songs, whatever, and he goes, it's the exact same thing happened to Paul McCartney when I was at him, and it was like, and we're just going to play one off the new album. Everyone gets up and goes to the toilet. God.
Yeah. No, I get that. No, look, I mean, I love going to music festivals because there is the whole thing about where I might know one or two songs, or I look it up the weekend before and say, oh yeah, okay, cool, let's go check them out. But at the same time, it's not like the band like never play those songs again after the performance, you know. So with music, you kind of can't do that. Like, you can't have a new performance every single night of the week unless it's a jazz thing, and even then, it's not really like, how much does yesterday's jazz performance change from tomorrow's, and the next day from last week's? Like, you're playing, say, bebop band. Like, bebop has to still confine to the rules
or it's not bebop.
Exactly. You know, so I don't think I don't think he'd be right about music, to be honest. But then again, what the fuck do I know?
Well, I think he probably, when he said it, it was probably looking likely that live music was going to take over again, because, you know, before, I suppose, people then settled on things like Spotify, where music was becoming totally free. These, you know, every million listens, you know, the artists now get a cent, whatever it gets. You know, but like, I think it probably, so we'd see I think it's 2013, 2014, I think it's when the 17, that stuff happened. And it probably did look really like recorded music. Now it's stabilised a wee bit. But like, even like, I was looking at Jack L on Facebook, and he was doing live gigs from a sitting room or whatever, and he's going like, I can't gig, I'm not making any money, you know. And so please, you know, he put up the PayPal link or whatever, and you go, well, you know, so it's obviously his album sales aren't. Vanessa just came out with, yeah, he's probably still getting the 350 from Leo though, isn't he? Like, you know. Yeah,
very good.
That
is true. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, probably. Yeah, shouldn't be putting up. Yeah, should be encrypting his PayPal links or whatever.
Excuse me, Jack. I know. You're on the COVID payment. I
think though, I think with the Bill Drummond stuff though, I think we can safely park that idea that he is as something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I think he just does the stuff for the hell of it, and because he wants to do it, and you know, and that's it. Like, it is a bit funny or odd that it's always kind of that he goes through these same kind of rituals everywhere he goes. So he does this thing with the shave. Like,
yeah.
And
the
he's
drum.
Adamant, like,
I have to enter the city by banging the drum.
Well. Like, that's autistic-y.
But it's also ritualistic and magic-y. So you know, that's
there is that.
Yeah.
But like, you know, lots of people love their habits. You know? So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it is.
Maybe not. I suppose it could also be not necessarily autistic, but compulsive. What's that? Obsessive compulsive, that kind of thing as well. That you have to switch off the light 3 times. All those type of things.
Otherwise, you know, everyone in Palestine dies.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
duh.
But yeah, no. It's just, I suppose, I think it's probably sometimes a bit too easy to kind of, not too easy, that's the wrong word as well, when you look at someone who thinks differently and then think there's something wrong with them. You know what I mean? I would rather
I don't think there's something wrong.
No, I meant, I'm again putting words in your mouth, and these are terrible words, but just trying to talk around the kind of thing. Like, Bill Drummond might just be a Bill Drummond, and that's just it. You know, like, there's no physiological reason for it or whatever. He just sees the world in a different way.
Yeah. Sure, man, even, look, I know, like, even by me judging him as something, that's wrong of me to do, but it's just, I'm honestly trying to kind of figure out how his head works, because he's so different.
Yeah, he's so different.
You know, he is, like, I mean, like, you know me, I'm quite different. I'm left-handed weirdo. Like, I mean, I guess, like, you're so different. You're so different than normal people. You're so different. But so, like, I know what it's like to be the black sheep in the classroom, like, totally. Like, I'm always like, you know, stuff going to be debates and all in class, and I'd be just like, no, hold on now, whoa, you're all wrong here. You're all looking at this the wrong way, you know. But so I get that, and I get kind of the outsider thing as well, and stuff like that. But like, just like watching Bill Drummond do his thing, you're like, wow, like, you're from outer space. You are. Wow, like, you're a genius.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's not eccentric in the way people are normally eccentric. Like he's not a loon. He's not loon.
Yeah, he's not fucking Elton John around.
Or like he's not like or even like someone like your man Lee Evans. He's not that manic type of energy.
Yeah.
It's like he's just he's not strange. Like he's different, but he's not weird. But he's weird. He's not. I don't know. He's an enigma wrapped in a what's that thing? He's an enigma wrapped in
there's a scene in there's a scene in the first one where he talks about I didn't know if I should clean my room, and then it pans to like there's a drill, like a cordless drill on his desk, and he's like, well, I thought I was going to leave that there. I thought I was going to get rid of that, but then I thought I'd leave that there because it made me because it would look like I was busy. It's like a lot going on in his head. There's a fucking lot going on in his head. Like he's actually thought about this. He's like, will I, yeah, like, wow, that's a psychologist would fucking love to get into that head,
Yeah. Oh God, can you imagine? I found a really great link that I will send you. It's he did whenever he's asked to do interviews on TV, he doesn't do them anymore. Remember that great video of him going, I'm just going to wear this moustache for all my TV interviews from now on. So he stopped doing them altogether. But so what he does, he does 60-second videos. And I just found he's like 60 or 70 of them done. I'll send you the link. If other people want to know it, it's popbollocks.com.
Right.
And he's just, that bit in the video where he's standing the painted black square.
Yeah,
so it's all of them, or so one of them is like him talking about when he was turned 60. It talks about manholes, which is very interesting. Is that in any of the documentaries where he's talking about manholes? Yeah, one of the things is that you make a manhole. That's another part of the 17, and that.
It's in the KLF book.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. I can listen to it. But again, what I was saying to you as well about the whole art thing, I'm not that gone on KLF's music. I can put it on in the background, but I'm listening to it in a different way than I listen to bands I actually like. I'm going, oh, this is cool. I'm trying to get the experience of it. Of course, I'm 30 years too late.
Is it the white? What's the white room? Is it that one? That's good.
Yeah.
But that's because it's great background music.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
The KLF, the pop music stuff is a bit like it's pretty dated.
No, it's fine, and it's and it definitely was hugely influential and all that. But at the time, I wasn't into it. I was aware of the Tammy Wynette stuff and all that, like, and vaguely knew about the burning the money and all that. But it's just kind of, we're probably a bit too young for it to have that. You probably need to be teenager in the late 80s, I think.
I remember the Tammy Wynette song and a couple of other songs. I remember now because I listened to them again. I remember them being on the radio when I was young, but like I wouldn't have been old enough to be into trancey music or that type of.
The Time Lord stuff, I remember it being number one. Like, Doctor Who, hey!
I hate Doctor Who. I fucking hate Doctor Who. I think it's awful.
Yeah, I
don't get why people like it. It's just dog shit. Fucking
0 stars, dog shit. Dog
0 stars, dog shit. When you compare it to like say Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that shit's amazing. Doctor Who. No,
I never get into it.
A poor cousin, a very poor cousin. It's the paedophile cousin that no one wants to talk to at the weddings. Oh, great, Uncle George is here. Oh.
We have to move all the tables because Auntie Jemima won't sit at the same table with Uncle George.
Yeah, I was at one of those ones.
We all were at one of those ones.
I suppose we've all been at them though, haven't we? We just don't know. Like, God, do you remember your wedding and trying to do the seating plan? It was just a nightmare. Fucking hell.
Yeah. My wedding, there was me and Vanessa. That was it. We didn't invite anyone.
Proper way to fucking do it, man. God, it's like trying to fucking put the Versailles Treaty together, trying to put people to just like, well, then. Although we did some matchmaking as well. We got people to have sex with each other. No, that sounds wrong. We got while we watched.
Just before the speeches, after the first thing, people had sex.
No, we did some matchmaking. We got some single people to hook up, which was nice.
Nice.
Nothing came of it much.
No one came. It was bad sex.
Well, no. People definitely did that, and which was nice. Spread the love and all that kind of stuff, So what? He's just gonna keep doing this 17 stuff. Is there any plan for him to get musically involved with County again, or?
Well, they did get back together to write that book 2023. So that's because I thought that was from back in the day, but I thought that only came out last year. So I don't know.
Uh-huh. Have you started? Is it any good or what? What's it about?
I said I'm not going to start, but I read the first 5 pages just to get the gist. It's the Illuminatus. It's very similar in that kind of a thing.
Okay.
Allegedly, the first half, going by the reviews, first half it's brilliant, and then they went, "Oh, let's just finish this," kind of thing. That's what the reviews are. But yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Like, since they never fell out, and they never, still friends, and there was never any kind of an issue. I don't know. I think if they were going to get back together for the money or release tapes or any kind of KLF stuff, they definitely would have done it by now. Like, because I don't think he's a rich person by any stretch.
No.
Like, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, you see his kind of his apartment and stuff, and well, who knows? Like, that could be in central London, so it could be like a really expensive apartment. That it's hard to know.
It looked like oh Jesus, what's that film from years ago? It's Fried Green Tomatoes. Is that what it's called? And
Yeah.
it's this little house between two.
Oh yeah. It's like really wrongly shaped, isn't
That's
it?
what this house looks like, man. All the other houses have been knocked down, and Bill Drummond is like, no. Ain't going fucking nowhere, bitches. Fair play to him. Well, that's probably anyway. Whatever, doesn't matter. No, I hope it's like the more I've been learning about him, the more I've wanted to keep learning about him. And I've had that until I watched Imagine, and then I was like, "Fuck this guy."
Yeah, right.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But then after watching The Best Before Death, now I'm back in love with him again because I would like to know more and kind of what's next and kind of pick his brain a little bit. But yeah, it's just the KLF stuff doesn't really speak to me because for me it's just it's too poppy.
Yeah.
No, there's not enough guitars in it. I need guitars in my music. And
you'll have to go into Big in Japan. He was the guitar player in Big in Japan.
Yeah. So I wonder, like, would they get back together and maybe do some arty stuff or whatever? Because, yeah, I'd love to know. Yeah, it's good. I think it's just interesting to see where the story would go if they were to do stuff together again. Rather than, But then again, maybe that's what the book is. So I'll just have to buy that, won't I?
Yeah. Well, the other thing, like he's saying that 12 years doesn't end. The Best Before Death. That's another 5 or 6 years away. So you won't know what he's doing after that. If he doesn't die. 72, of course.
I hope he doesn't die at 72. 72 is old, but it's not that old anymore. Like, is it? But then again, for a Scottish person, should they only live till 45, don't they?
That's mad, because that's named his autobiography is 45, so there you go.
Synchronicities, baby. Yeah. The clock is telling us to get the fuck out of here. Bye-bye!